Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. Okay, so in today's video, we are going to be exploring the relationship between your sun sign and your Venus sign. What do they say about you? Stay tuned because we are going to get into it. But before we do, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button and click the bell. And if you are interested in booking a reading with me, then you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. There you can find all of my astrology products. And I also want to say a big, massive thank you to my patrons over at Patreon for all of your support. If you would like extra astrology videos early, so early videos, ad-free, plus PDF guides and daily forecasts, then head on over to my Patreon. As always, I hope you find this video to be helpful. Let's do this. Alright, so the synodic cycle of the Sun and Venus is about 18 months. Do you ever remember me talking about the 5-petal rose of Venus? Well, this is based on the cycle of the Sun and Venus. Basically, every 18 months, Venus stations retrograde, and the retrograde lasts for about 40 days. And every 8 years, Venus returns to the same sign. As Venus goes through its cycle, it creates this beautiful pattern, right? This 5-petal rose pattern, or a 5-pointed star, creating a pentagram. Now, on the 13th of August, 2023, a new Venus was born in Leo. This was when Sun and Venus retrograde met in Leo. This was called the inferior. It's called the inferior conjunction, or a Venus Cassimi. An inferior conjunction occurs when a solar system body, in this case Venus, lies along a straight line between the Earth and the Sun. During the inferior conjunction, Venus becomes the morning star. But you see, about 9 to 10 months later, Venus then becomes full. A full Venus occurs. This is when Sun and Venus direct meet for a superior conjunction, or again, a Venus Cassimi. Now, a superior conjunction occurs when Earth and the other planet are on opposite sides of the Sun. But all 3 planets are nearly in a straight line. During the superior conjunction, Venus becomes the evening star. Then, about 8 to 9 months after the superior conjunction, another inferior conjunction takes place, and so this repeats. This process repeats. The next superior conjunction is on the 4th of June. 4th of June 2024 in Gemini. And the next inferior conjunction is March 2025 in Aries. Of course, there's going to be a Venus retrograde in both Pisces and Aries around that time. The cycle of Venus then begins when retrograde Venus aligns with the Sun. This is a renewal, new beginnings, a fresh start. And when Venus direct aligns with the Sun, again, this is when Venus peaks. We start to shed, release, and reap rewards. But you see, the dance of the Sun and Venus, this synodic cycle, it is romantic, it's loving, it's kind, it's affectionate. Imagine it as if you're dancing in a ballroom with your beloved, with your friend, with your child. This is a dance of unity, togetherness, appreciation. It's about relating to others and how we also relate to ourselves. It's a dance of sensuality and pleasure. We feel drawn to move with passion, desire, and embracement. We hold our partners and our relatives close. We want them to know how much we love them. Plus, this is also about our creativity. It's about our self-worth. How we nourish our bodies and feel at ease from within. Our talents and our gifts are highlighted. Venus then is about attraction, pleasure, desire. And the sun is about our ego, our individuality, and our self-expression. And so when these celestial bodies meet, we are given an opportunity to consider how we show up in relationship to others. And also, how do we seek to experience pleasure and ecstasy? Do we feel good? Do we value ourselves? Perhaps we enjoy making certain foods, or we delight in buying clothes. For example, a new Venus Cassimi occurs in Gemini this June. So June 2024, the Venus Cassimi will welcome a peak, a release to do with attraction, beauty, art, music, creativity, and so on. Venus then will become the evening star. Now, similar to that of Sun and Mercury, Sun and Venus are not too far away from each other. Venus will either be in the sign, so the same sign as your sun sign, or it will be in the sign over, so one sign over from your sun sign, or it will be two signs over from your sun sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Sun and Venus aspects. Do let me know in the comments what your Sun and Venus combo is. And for this video, I am using traditional aspects. Of course, we're even just thinking about aspects by sign, but do also consider modern aspects. For more information about aspects, I have made a series all about them. So feel free to check that out. Sun and Venus in the same sign, Sun-Venus conjunction. So there are a few different variations of this. You could have Sun and Venus in the same sign, but they're not conjunct by degree, or they could be conjunct by degree. And if they are 8 degrees apart, Venus is combust. Or you could have Sun and Venus conjunct within 17 minutes. This then means that you were born during a Venus Cassimi. Or Venus could be retrograde in your chart. Sun and Venus might also be conjunct in your chart, but in different signs. But there would still be an aversion sort of quality to this. So if you have this in your chart, read both for the conjunction and the aversion, just to see how things resonate with you. If both Sun and Venus are in the same sign in your chart, this means that you value yourself, your individuality, your passions, your interests, your ego, your pride, how you shine and radiate, and so on. You might possess great self-esteem. Your self-worth was encouraged as a child. You might have been told how gifted you were, how talented, or how beautiful you were. Yes, you could very well have been recognized by others as if who you were was enough. It was enough. And it is likely as well that you are a likable person. Perhaps you are great at holding the attention of an audience. And you can be quite social too. Your self-expression is refined, it's beautiful, rather poetic. And your beauty, it shines bright. It really stands out. Naturally, it's also important to look at the entire chart, especially when we talk about self-esteem, okay? But there is something special about you, something delightful about how you radiate and glow. Now, if Sun and Venus are about 8 degrees apart, Venus is combust, suggesting tension within relationships. If or when you feel like you're not being valued or appreciated, you might become upset at those who do not see your gifts and your talents. And you also tend to possess much pride in your creativity and your art and so on. Your creations, your values, these things, they really mean something to you. And so perhaps it's important that others see that they notice, they acknowledge these qualities about you. Now, if you were born when Sun and Venus were 17 minutes apart, you are this essence of refinement and beauty, gracious, loving, embracing, kind to others. Perhaps you're gifted at singing, dancing, cooking, fashion design, photography. You seek harmony, you seek balance, and you also seek a deep desire, right? You possess this deep desire to connect, to really relate to others. However, you might also jump into new relationships pretty quickly. Seeing the best in others, but maybe to your detriment at times. Codependency could also play out as well. Or perhaps it is challenging to meet your many desires within relationships. If you were then born when Venus was retrograde, right? So Sun and Venus retrograde, they're in the same sign. Again, this can depend on the combustion, it can depend on the Cassimi, but essentially you might find that showing your affection and love towards others it's very personal. It is possible that how you express your love is quite different to that of most of your peers. Perhaps you choose not to rush. You prefer to take your time when entering a relationship. You can be quite specific as well. Or you might be sure of your values, and so that matters to you, right? Your values play a major role in how you connect and relate to others. Then again, another manifestation of this is you could have a few insecurities that hold you back from making the first move. There might be issues with being seen, loved, and appreciated. You might also find that your fashion sense or your style is quite different as well, or the music that you listen to is. But you can also be pretty romantic, loving, gracious, enjoyable to be around, good company. You may also go out of your way to make others happy. And when you do enter a new relationship, you can be super loyal and generous. You can be a super devoted lover, friend, colleague, which you may pride yourself on. Sun and Venus in aversion. So Venus in the sign before or after your sun sign. So if your Venus sign is in the sign before or after your sun, of course we want to think about in modern astrology, this would be a semi-sextile, but this suggests that it can feel like your sun sign and your Venus sign, they do not connect the best, as if they are very different to each other. As you seek to express and outwardly show the qualities and traits of your sun sign, how you value yourself can be quite different. You value yourself more like your Venus sign, right? Your self-worth is more tied to your Venus sign. And at the same time, your Venus sign points to your beauty and how you relate to others, how you show your love, your affections, how you connect. These things can play a role in how you outwardly express as well. So it is a mix. It's a mix of the two that come through. So when you show love, when you give to others, when you relate to them, you also express the qualities of your sun sign. And when others compliment you for your beauty, your style, your fashion, your creativity, your sun sign takes that information and feels good. Feels quite appreciative and recognized to an extent as well. Being complimented though for your Venus sign helps support the confidence of your sun sign, and at the same time being recognized for your sun sign helps support the self-esteem of your Venus sign. Still, with this being an aversion, it's a question of how healthy is your ego? How healthy is your self-esteem? For example, how likely are you to accept a kind compliment? Can you recognize your gifts, and how do you value the way you express yourself? The what if Venus is retrograde? Similar to that of those of you born with Sun and Venus retrograde in the same sign, the way you give and receive love, the art that you like, the kinds of people you're attracted to, well, they may be different to that of your peers and your colleagues, etc. Venus retrograde can show up as committed relationships later on in life, divorce, experiencing more than a few breakups, saving yourself for the perfect person, just even knowing what your expectations are within relationships, feeling music and art, right? Really feeling music and art on a deep, deep level. And I would say valuing a deep bond with those that you love and not compromising on your values. Okay, so lastly, we've got Sun, Venus, Sextile. So if your Venus sign is 2 signs over from your Sun sign, so this could be on one side or the other, okay, it creates a sextile by sign. Now, I do not want to say that the actual I don't want to talk about the actual aspect of 60 degrees, okay, because that is impossible. But I still want to touch on this by sign, right? This little thing, I want to look at these aspects based on signs. And then you can look at your chart and then look at more of the specifics. Anyway, take Marilyn Monroe. She was born when the sun was in Gemini, and then Venus is in Aries at 28 degrees in her chart. Taylor Swift is another example. So Taylor Swift was born with sun in Sagittarius, and then Venus is in Aquarius at an early degree. With this combination, it can be suggested that there is a pleasantness. There's a pleasantness about you. You can be likable, you can be enjoyable to be around, perhaps quite popular, but not in the general sense of the word. Maybe the lack of the degree strength between Sun and Venus indicates a type of distancing or separation. Sort of a mix of knowing when to join in and when to take time for yourself, right? Having certain projects where you're working with others, you're collaborating with others, but then other projects where it's you and you enjoy that. You might even prefer to take your time when getting to know new people, warming up to new people, or you might take quite a while weighing out your options or just seeing what's fair within relationships. You strive though for independence, for your independence and your individuality, but you don't feel a desire to explain this to others. You are who you are, and you're not willing to show others just how valuable or worthy you are. Hey, if they like you, they like you, and if they don't, it's their loss, right? Others know of you and are pretty drawn to how you carry yourself with confidence. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video talking all about your Sun sign and your Venus sign. Again, let me know your Sun-Venus combo down below. Please let me know if you find this video to be helpful. Did you learn something new? I would really appreciate your feedback, and like you, I am always learning. Again, thank you so much to my patrons over Patreon for all of your support, and please let me know your thoughts and your opinions on today's video. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and also give this video a like if you did like it today, and I will be back with another video very soon. Bye!